According to the black folks that are still captive on that Democratic plantation, everything is racist. Well, everything besides them. Literally. I'm talking about the air that I breathe is racist. Why? Because clear, the unseen, translucent is close to whiteness. And why is it that we would need clear air that is basically white air in order to live? Racism, right? Makes perfect sense. And so I would say on a weekly basis, I get an update as far as new things that have now been added to the list of what is racist, the things that you can or cannot say. And so I thought, let's go ahead and just get this update, you and I, together in real time, because it's been about 6 or 7 days. And to be honest with y'all, I feel as if I'm out of the loop. So without further ado, let's get into this.
10 ways you say the N-word without saying the N-word.
Okay.
If you use any of these terms or phrases.
Wait a minute. Let me get my little notepad. Because when it's time to learn, it's time to learn. So let's go ahead and get that going. All right.
In reference to black people, you are just as racist as the person that actually uses the N-word. Okay. Here are the words: thug, ghetto, welfare queen, lazy, race baiter, race grifter, threatening.
Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Every single one of those words I use on a daily basis. At the very least, at least 3 of those. Ghetto, race grifter, those are some of my personal favorites. Now, thug, every now and then I throw it into there, but I feel like it doesn't have the same potency and weight that it once did, right? What else do we have? Lazy. Lazy equals N-word. Then I'm sick and tired of y'all lazies.
Race baiter, race grifter, threatening, angry, dangerous. Or you say that we're...
No, this is ultimate gaslighting. I'm sorry. Dangerous? Threatening? Look, if you're new to my channel, this may be news to you, but I'm the type of guy who, let me get this out of frame. I'm the type of guy who, if I am, let's say, walking home at night and I see something that creates, I guess, a certain level of cortisol spike, adrenaline, fight or flight kicks in, I'm going to listen to my instinct. Now, I'm okay with being dead ass wrong and essentially being seen as somebody who is judgmental, because at the very least, I could be wrong, but I still did what I felt was necessary, as opposed to, feigning or pretending this sort of empathy for every damn body and getting my ass Swiss cheesed, getting poked up. You understand me? Getting mugged. Very best situation there would be that I get a couple of dollars taken off of me. But the first thing I'm going to do when I see some suspicious activity and I'm in a space or surrounding that is not necessarily the most conducive to my safety, first of all, I'm walking faster than usual, right? I have a different pace in the suburbs than I do in the ghettos, in the hoods. A very different pace for a reason. Because I feel there is greater threat in one environment as opposed to the other. If you're in the lion's den, likelihood is you're clinging onto the ceiling, right? These are just facts. So I will continue to use those words as well. Let's see if you have anything else on here we can agree on. Anything else?
Playing the victim, or we are a diversity hire. What you actually mean to say the victim, or we are a diversity hire. What you actually mean to say is the N-word. Just stop it. If you say these words or phrases, you are calling us the N-word. If you say these ignorant racist terms or phrases around your
if I call you the N-word, I'm calling you the N-word. That's how I work. I don't know about you and what you got going on, but when I mean to say something, I will say it. If I believe that you are the N-word, with or without the hard R, that's exactly what I meant. So when I say that you are a DI hire, when I say that you are threatening or a threat, damn it, when I call you a race grifter, race hustler, that's exactly what I mean.
Children, you're also teaching your children to be racist just like you. So I have good news and bad news for you. Here's the bad news. You're not as non-racist as you thought you were, and you're certainly not anti-racist. Here's the good news.
This is definitely a message for white liberals because they're the ones who are ultimately consumed with their white guilt, and they're looking for ways to appease their colored overlords. I just so happen to not be in any of those camps. I am going to call it exactly how it is. If you are a nignog and you're acting like one, I'm going to label you as that. Whatever creed, color, skin, ethnicity, nationality, I don't give a damn. I calls it as I sees it.
You can unlearn all the racist crap you've been taught and reject white supremacist ideologies that you've believed for your entire life. Now, if you're ready to do that and start becoming a part of the solution instead of a part of the problem, go to that link on my profile, sign up for my webinar replay, or do my 5-day challenge because it's time to do better.
Okay. So that's why she didn't want you using the word race hustler, race grifter, because she didn't want you calling her what the hell she is. So I'm going to call her what she is. I'm going to write that one down. Race grifter. She's selling a course right there. Y'all can't see a damn thing. She's selling a course for white liberals on how to be anti-racist, which reminds me of a gentleman by the name of Ibrahim Kendi, Ibrahim X Kendi, or originally known as Henry Rogers. But that name was definitely not going to fly when it came to being a Pan-Africanist, ashwagandha, Wakanda forever type of Negro. And so he basically found himself writing this book called How to Be Anti-Racist or some nonsense like that. A lot of these woke universities picked it up, became part of curriculum, was thrown into the DEI programs, and all of a sudden he made millions of dollars doing this research on how to be anti-racist. Turned out that he burnt through, I think, $50 million or something of that nature. $10 million given to him by the original founder of Twitter in Jack Dorsey. Essentially what I'm getting to is this. It was all a grift, and now the grifters have just found a new platform and a new way to carry this venture forward. So for the idiots out there, y'all can find yourselves in her course for, I wouldn't take it for free 99, to be honest with y'all. You couldn't pay me to take a stupid course like that. But again, for the white folks who are so given over to their white guilt, they feel terrible for being Caucasian. Best of luck, because you will never do good enough, especially if the business model is the necessity of racism being prolific. Like I heard somebody one time say, they said there's a supply and demand problem in racism. There's not enough supply for the amount of demand there is. And so they make things up every single day. They make something up, turn it into racism in order to continue their business model. So yeah, lady, you over here, I will continue to use every single one of these words on a daily basis, probably 2 or 3 times more than usual, because to hell with whatever you're talking about. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. But I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.